Hi, I'm Chris Boussaid, Los Angeles theft attorney, and welcome to CBS Law, where we deliver results, not promises. I'd like to talk to you about theft cases. First, I'll go over some of the most common theft charges you could face. Second, I'll go over defenses we successfully employ every day in theft cases. And third, I'll go over some common sense measures you can take if you find yourself arrested or being investigated for theft. Far and away, the most common theft charge is a violation of Penal Code Section 487. Now, what constitutes that crime? First, that you took property, not your own, without the owner's consent, and at the time you took that property, you intended to deprive the true owner of that property, and then finally, that you kept that property for a period of time, however brief, or moved it a distance, however short. Now, this crime can be charged as a misdemeanor or as a felony. That will depend on the value of the property taken. Let me explain. If the value of the property is $950 or greater, it'll be charged as a felony. If it's $949 or less, it'll be charged as a misdemeanor. If it gets charged as a felony, the maximum time you could face is 3 years in state prison, servable in local county jail at halftime. That means the most you can do of any sentence is half. If it's charged as a misdemeanor, depending on the circumstances, it could either be 180 days in county jail or 364 days in county jail. Either way, it's servable at halftime. The second most common charge that we see in theft cases is a violation of Penal Code Section 496, receiving stolen property. What constitutes a violation of receiving stolen property? One, that you received property that was stolen. Second, that you had knowledge it was stolen. And third, that you knew that you possessed it. Now, this too can be charged as a misdemeanor or as a felony. And just like a violation of Penal Code 487, the determination there will be based on the value of the property. If the property is valued at $950 or above, it can be charged as a felony. If it's $949 or below, then it'll be charged as a misdemeanor. Similar to theft, the maximum you can face if you get charged as a felony is 3 years in state prison, servable in the local county jail at halftime. If it's charged as a misdemeanor, then the maximum you can face is 364 days in the county jail, again, servable at halftime, which means you can only do half. Now, some common defenses that we pursue in these types of cases are 1, a lack of intent, mistake, or accident. Obviously, if a person gets arrested and they're in a face mask with a bunch of crowbars and burglary tools, that's a very different scenario than if they just happen to be going through the self-checkout line and missed one of 10 items that they purchased that day. So the circumstances surrounding the arrest, we are going to investigate to try to show that there was no intent to permanently deprive an owner of their property, but rather it was just an accident or a mistake. The second common defense that we pursue, especially in receiving stolen property cases, is a lack of knowledge that you knew the property was stolen. There's a big difference if someone shows up with a FedEx truck and break it open and say, hey, a half off deal right now, versus you legitimately bought it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and you had no idea because it was in its original packaging and there was no evidence of any tampering or it being stolen. Now, what are some common sense measures you can take if you or a loved one find yourself being arrested or investigated for a theft case? First, document the circumstances of what happened. That means literally write it down. Second, make sure you keep all receipts, all messages, all transaction records, so that way we can show the prosecutor and the judge exactly how you came to possess this property and show that there's an innocent explanation as to why you possessed it. But far and away, the most important thing you can do if you or a loved one find yourself arrested or being investigated for a theft case is do not delay in calling us. I can assure you the prosecution is working on their case right now, and we need to get started on yours. So call CBS Law at 213-800-8005, and together we'll get your life back.